I just unmuted my microphone. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. We had a little bit of issues with that beginning video, but we'll just go ahead and get started. So I will be one of your casters for tonight. I am Mjinga Sana, and I will let my co-caster introduce himself.
Hi, my name is the One Man Army, and I am the captain of the epic Motley Crew.
As well as El Yolo.
That is true. We have lost, so I'm casting now.
Yeah, so now you get to see it from the other side. You actually get to watch other people.
Yes, that is very true. I will be impartial, though, because I am fair and balanced, much like Fox News.
Yeah, but I am, I guess, in real life, Eric Collier, since I didn't compete. You probably don't know me as much as by my summoner name, but I was the tournament administrator. So we are now having the finals for tonight. We do have something interesting with regards to these finals, though. It is technically a best of 3. However, since July New Hires has not yet lost, and they've technically won against Freebird and Friends, they start with a 1-game advantage in this best of 3.
That is correct. They are starting 1 game down for Freebird and Friends. They faced off against the July New Hires earlier, but because we didn't have enough time to finish out the games earlier, we're finishing them up now, and we're just going to have them start out 1 game down. So, in other words, if Freebird and Friends wins this one, they will be going on to a second game, but if they lose, it's all over. Yeah,
so technically the second game will be the third game. So this is as if the best of 3 had already happened, and their 1 game has been played, and July New Hires has the first game. So July New Hires are up 1-0, and it is a best of 3. So we are actually already in the lobby. I think both teams are ready to go, so we've told them to start when they're ready, and as soon as they start, we will be getting into Champ Select. That will be happening very shortly.
Yeah, and as you'll see once we get into the once we get a little bit into the Champ Select, and once we see some of those borders, once we start loading up, we are playing with some real professionals here. I mean, it's pretty much diamonds across the board. We only have 1 platinum on Vu Master, but everybody else is top tier here. These are 2 teams that are of pretty much equal skill level, and it's right up there at the top. In fact, I'm a little bit surprised because Freebird and Friends did have actually somebody from the Masters, MLB Gonzalez, I believe his name was, somebody who was in the Masters tier during the tournament, but he doesn't look like he can make it tonight.
I know. So we do have a Rise band coming out. Not very surprising at all. The top laner for Freebird and Friends, very proficient on that Rise, and unless you shut Rise down, he becomes an absolute monster late game.
Yeah, it's weird that they would ban their own Rise, but I mean, it's the sort of thing where, I mean, if they probably have a pick that they've got in their pocket and they don't want to give up Rise to the other team, so, I mean, that's definitely a fair ban. Looks like also Soraka, Lee Sin, and Lucian getting knocked out right off the bat. Yeah,
Soraka and Lucian, pretty difficult to deal with in that bottom lane. Lucian obviously has a lot of burst. He's almost less of an AD carry as much as he's a AD caster, so he can just use his abilities, get his double shot, use another ability, get a double shot, use another ability, get a double shot, and plus his dash also gives him a lot of utility. So especially in lane, he's a pretty big lane bully, and Soraka obviously can keep him healed up, especially new Soraka. She is pretty ridiculous at the moment, but then on the flip side, we do have Kha'Zix being banned out. I am not surprised by that at all.
Yeah, just going back to that Lucian quick, that's also a pretty targeted ban against Freebird. Dr. Freebird has quite a few games on that Lucian, and throughout the tournament, he's really shown us how he can perform on that Lucian, and the Soraka is just going to add to that in terms of the level of harass that she can offer to complement that Lucian. And Kha'Zix, yep, great duelist in the jungle, good ban on their part. Looks like Nara also getting knocked out. We've seen him a couple times throughout the tournament. You know, when he came out, he was not, people had questions about him. They weren't sure if he was really going to be that great as a champion, but it looks like he's been doing pretty well. So it's fair to say good ban on their part.
And we should also say, that there is the potential that we will remake this room after Champion Select. A couple of people on Freebird and Friends don't have quite the champion pool that they want to. So if you see like a troll pick like Heimerdinger or Eve, likely we will be remaking the room after this and very quickly go through picks and bans. But obviously, Maokai, Caitlyn, Jarvan, those are all champions that individuals will want to play. I'm a little surprised that they prioritize that Maokai pick, though.
Yeah, they must be looking for an anti-AoE comp. We definitely have seen the July new hires really excel in team fights. So if they were planning on bringing a bunch of AoE, that's pretty much going to be dampened quite a bit by that Maokai pick there. But also the J4 and the Caitlyn. Caitlyn, great AD carry all around, huge range. J4, fantastic jungler, really good ganks, really strong kit. Right off the bat, he can pretty much do a gank at level 3, even level 2 if he's getting really feisty. So I'm excited to see some early ganks with that guy right there.
Yeah. Dr. Freebird hovering, and insta-locking that Corki. You know, one of the things that I really like, I guess I half like, is when people wait until the last minute to both select and lock in their champions, because then it gives the other team less time to actually discuss that. So an insta-lock coming in from that Nami, maybe not as much that great a strategy, but Freebird just instantly choosing Corki and then locking in, not giving the other team time to kind of discuss and figure out who they're going to go for with the counters. But we do have, on the other side, Phantom Z locking in that Rumble pick. It's been a while since I've ever seen Rumble in the top lane.
Yeah, I saw him earlier in the tournament, so I don't know if he's necessarily coming back now, but the Rumble that, I think 1 or 2 Rumbles that I've seen recently haven't been doing that fantastic, but it might be one of those things like Rammus. Actually surprised we haven't seen a Rammus yet. Well, I guess we won't since the junglers are picked, but Rammus kind of came out of nowhere, and really has just been picking up speed in terms of the solo queue lately, so maybe Rumble's going that way too. Looks like Vumaster is going for an Ahri. We've seen Ahri a couple times throughout this tournament. You were going to say something? Go for it.
Yeah, so all I was going to say is that Rammus's ganks are just absolutely phenomenal. He can come from almost anywhere.
There's a Rammus.
But there we go. Maybe they're probably watching this stream and trolling us right now.
Yeah, you're right.
So
do it, Lock.
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
so you know what that
me.
means? That means that is a Maokai in the top lane and not a Maokai in the jungle.
Yeah, that's what I would anticipate. We're going to see a switch here. That's, again, quite the mind games there. From Freebird's insta-locking on Corki, not giving him any time, we are seeing already the Freebird and friends being masters of psychology here.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And you know what? Maokai actually a pretty good lane opponent for that Rumble, because Rumble, in order to do damage, has to cast tons of spells, which means their top laner is just going to be able to keep auto-attacking and keep getting health back. So as soon as you see him get that Catalyst, it wouldn't surprise me if that lane shifts heavily in favor towards Peckle. I think that's how you pronounce that name.
Yep. Peckle is definitely going to be their top, so I would not be surprised if we saw a switch right here. I do not know how Rumble goes against, how well he does against a Maokai. All right, that's just a weird matchup. I don't know if I've seen that before. Maybe other people.
Well, I think that Rumble's going to have to rely on burst. If Rumble tries to out-sustain Maokai, it's just not going to happen. So Rumble's going to have to jump in and kill Maokai all at once. Otherwise, Maokai's just not going to die.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And Chimney Beans is picking up that Lissandra. I got to tell you, I'm really excited to see this Lissandra. I saw him in his previous game against the
Masters tier?
Yeah, against the Masters tier, Zed, and he had some clutch plays. Not only was that Lissandra a great pick in lane against the Zed, just because, she can ult herself. She basically nullifies his ult and can hurt him at the same time. But she had a great escape towards the end of the game where she was able to really outplay that Masters tier. So really impressive. If you can outplay a Masters tier and a champion, I want to see you play that champion.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Especially since, most of the time I feel like Masters tiers are just much, much higher than me. Obviously I'm not super high elo. I'm definitely not Diamond. But, so they seem like almost incredibly godlike. So if I get a kill on them, I'm happy. But to see somebody actually stand toe-to-toe with somebody in the Masters tier with the champion, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, Master tier champions are basically like ghosts. You can't catch them or see them, or they don't exist for some people.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, for those of you that aren't aware, spectator mode does have a built-in 3-minute delay. So we have waited for that 60 seconds after all the champions are selected before they go into game. That time has expired, but now we're in that 3-minute waiting period to give them a chance to go get 3 minutes ahead, so nothing that they see on stream can give them an advantage.
Yep, that is definitely true. So, looks like, what do you think we're going to see level 1 here? Neither team has really fantastic level 1s. I would imagine these folks are going to pretty much play it safe, just kind of stick to their own jungle.
Yeah, I mean, they tend to have a lot of disengage that can counter-engage coming from either team, and other than the Rammus taunt and the Nami bubble, if you land them back-to-back, there's not a... Well, actually, I mean, Maokai could go snare first. I mean, that would put him very far behind in lane, but that chain CC could land them first blood if they play it correctly, but Lissandra, whatever she decides to get, will slow people down. You have the Janna Tornado coming out, so... You know, it really would surprise me if we see either of these teams trying to go for a fight level 1. It would not surprise me if we see them going for an invade to try to steal a buff level 1.
Yeah, I think they're going to play it safe. I would be surprised if Rammus took his taunt level 1. That would just hurt his jungle quite a bit, and I don't think we're going to see Zigix do that. Definitely possible, but I wouldn't anticipate it. Let's see. Oh, and Vumaster did go on Syndra. I saw him contemplating the Ahri earlier. I was going to say an Ahri charm would be pretty nice, but yeah, as Syndra, you aren't going to have too much to be able to do in terms of level 1. Well, I mean, her Q is pretty good for a team fight, but you're not going to see a sustained team fight at level 1, or at least I wouldn't think so. Not between teams of this high elo.
Hey, you never know, man. She could, like, pull a Gnar, flash behind the team, and use her at that point, push instead of stun to knock somebody back into the team.
That would be cool. Vumaster, maybe it's happening right now. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be.
Do it, Vumaster.
I hope they're not watching the stream anymore.
No, they're probably loaded up into the game going right now. So I would anticipate that looking at this team comp with on the right hand side here with your July new hires, you have the Jarvan ult, you have the Janna ult, and already we're seeing quite a bit of AoE. Although the Janna pick does seem to kind of counteract some of the AoE that they have right now. Obviously, the Janna ult is a great anti-engage, but at the same time, like the Jarvan and the Rumble ult and the Lissandra, it's trying to get them all grouped. And really what that Janna ult does is it scatters everybody.
Yeah, and that Janna ult can be a very dangerous thing as well. They have to be sure to use it correctly, otherwise that Janna ult can completely screw up an assassination attempt.
Yeah, I know that when I play Orianna, the last thing I want on my team is a Janna, because all that means is that I'm going to be whiffing ults all day.
Oh yeah. And especially, I used to play Volibear quite a bit, and I would do that all the time, where I'd go to knock somebody back, but of course I would knock them or something like that, so.
Yep, that's true. All right, so looks like we are in game. Everybody's just buying their items right now. Maybe taking a little bit of time. Looks like, oh yeah, maybe it's just a little bit of a delay, or maybe they're lagging. Probably not.
They're just standing there. We actually loaded in the game really fast, but spectator mode seemed to have a little bit of a glitch there, but it gives me time to go ahead and move people into the appropriate positions, so
perfect.
I'm not too upset about it.
Ain't even mad, bro.
Not even mad. Not even.
All right, so yep, we see some pings coming out from the red team. Good communication right off the bat. Maybe excessive communication. Whatever.
You know what? Just do it. Whatever floats your boat. It's all right.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to spread out, though. Kind of what we were talking about. Not going to see too much action level 1. We'll probably see some wards being put down. One of the things that I saw from the new hires in our game against them, actually, funny enough, was they had a ton of wards. There was one point where I saw everybody on the other team having, on the July new hires team, having a pink ward. Like, literally every single member coming out of the base with a pink ward. And they did suffer a bit of an item disadvantage, but overall, I think that one of the big reasons that they were able to do so well going into the mid and late game was because they had such great vision control.
Yeah, and vision control becoming more and more important, and I know that every time Riot makes a change to something in the game, people always complain, and I think vision was one of those things, but overall I think the warding trinkets and the way that the pink wards are now has been a positive thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it created a lot of new strategies. I remember when they were considering whether or not to have those trinkets be activatable at the 30-second mark, or if they wanted that to be delayed. And they said that they wanted them to be activated early because that meant more action sooner. Not in the case in this game, but overall.
But yeah. Yeah, and also the fact that now any individual can only have 3 wards out at a time and 1 pink ward really shifts the responsibility of warding from the support exclusively to most of the team.
Yep, that's true. Trying to make people not get mad at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Still happens.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say anything too crazy happening. Nobody really tried to wait in the bush, try to kill someone. Everybody just going for their 1 buff starts, trying to pick up farm in lane.
Yep. Rammus is starting red though, so looks like he'll be looking to gank top lane after he gets that blue, I would imagine. And if you look at Jarvan's path, I bet they're gonna meet up there.
I agree, but Jarvan does have the advantage because Jarvan knows that he started blue, because if you look in the brush, there is a ward, a red ward placed on the blue side blue. So yeah, that's a lot of wards.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so there was a red ward.
I thought you meant that Jarvan knew that Jarvan started blue, and I was yes.
Yeah, Jarvan knew that Jarvan started blue bus. Yes, so there's a lot of reds, a lot of blues going on there, especially when you're talking about sides. But down in the bot lane, we do have taken low, Abigail going taken low.
Silent J taking a lot of damage from that Caitlyn and Janna harass right there. That was a pretty good trade overall, I think, for both teams, because Silent J is going to be able to heal that back up. But still, if we had seen some more summoners burn there, well, any, I guess.
Yeah.
That could have been pretty devastating for the Nami. But you don't want to leave Freebird open. You don't want to you don't want to go all in on the support and then get mopped up by the AD carry. Oh, there she goes, Silent J. Oh, getting a thing onto Abigail. Oh, looking up top, we got Tommy Lee going in on Peckle. Looks like he is going to use the flash. Oh my god, so much action everywhere. Oh, the Rammus gets the taunt off. Lissandra flashing. Is she going to die to the Ignite? Yes, first blood going to Boomaster. Very nicely done by the Rammus. The Rammus hype is real.
Yeah, Rammus, man. That taunt stopped Lissandra from being able to use that claw to get out of there. And so that left her with only the flash, but because she was sat there taunted for a while...
That's right.
Yeah.
She was almost top, and Rammus giving no remorse, going top, giving the flash onto, getting the flash off of Rumble, but he is still able to be deterred from going all in on that Rumble from the J4 who is present up top.
Yeah, so nice counter gank by J4, saving the teammate there, but Rammus blowing the flash on Rumble. That will make ganks fairly easy coming up. I mean, Rammus just in that power ball, flowing flashes everywhere, man. Even though he's given up a little bit of farm to do so, it's completely worth it because he's helped his team out.
Yep, and getting those kills on that top lane is really crucial. Top and bot are some of the most crucial places. Obviously, mid is important, but with 2 champs like this that are able to farm from a distance pretty easily, it's less important. So even though that first blood on Boomaster is really good, it's not game-changing yet, like you would see with a top lane early kill or bot lane.
And it wouldn't surprise me if we saw both jungles starting to camp this bottom lane now, because really, if you control the bottom lane, you can also control Dragon, and really objectives are worth a lot more than kills. But up in that top lane, we do have Peckle taken. Actually, they're trading fairly evenly, but Peckle has to trade mana as well as health, and so those trades are going slightly in favor of Rumble because they're going equal in the amount of health lost, but then Rumble's not losing mana.
Yeah,
right as I say that, they have another trade.
Yep, but one of the big differences, and actually we're seeing, Rammus knows that Lissandra is low on, or doesn't have that flash, so she's still going to be able to get out with that claw, but if she had misplayed that at all, she would have been very dead.
Yep, if that claw hadn't gotten her out of there, that would have been a death, but Rumble choosing to camp mid, what do you think about Syndra's ability to carry a game, especially since Rammus is focusing all of his efforts there?
Yeah, I think I said that Boomaster died earlier. That was incorrect, by the way. That was Chimney Beans, which is a far more hilarious name, by the way. Anyways, yeah, I think Syndra's great in terms of the late game, but Lissandra actually does fantastic in the late game as well, just considering how much CC ability she had. Oh, and up top we have Rammus going in onto Rumble. J4 making his presence known. Looks like they are going to take down the Maokai, but Rumble falls as well. J4 just trading some blows with Rammus, and they're going to back off 1 for 1.
Yeah, so that is a fairly even trade. They both have teleports. They should both be able to get back into lane, but I'm trying to look to see who got the kill. It was Rammus that got the kill and Rumble that got the kill. So that probably goes in favor of Rumble up in the top lane, but Dr. Freebird and friends overall, because Rumble's going to come back with a kill, and Maokai is not going to come back having gotten a kill. But with that being said, the item differential isn't actually very much.
No, but the gold differential is getting there. It's not super significant yet, but we're already seeing about 1,500 gold lead onto Freebird and friends.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look to see where that gold differential is. Up in that top lane, they're actually dead even. I mean, there's 8 gold separating the two teams.
Yeah, it's pretty much just the bot. If you look at Dr. Freebird versus Abigail, he's got about 20 CS up on her.
Yeah, it's the bot lane, and the jungle also has a slight advantage. So,
yeah,
great game.
Yeah, definitely. And a good amount of that advantage in terms of the bot lane is coming from the fact that Nami and Freebird are really able to harass very well, while Caitlyn is having to back off quite a bit and lose CS because of it.
Yeah, and we do have, once again, this is a best of 3, but July new hires on the right side has a 1-game advantage. So this game is much more important for Freebird and friends than it is for July new hires.
That's true, because if they lose, they don't get to play.
Yeah, so this could potentially be a 1-and-out. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, we do have Peckle popping his ult.
Ooh. Not like that ult matters that much. Well, not that it doesn't matter, but best caster ever. But that ult is on a pretty low cooldown. As you can already see, Maokai is almost at about half through his cooldown on that. So
yeah. And like I said, up in that top lane, you can see Maokai has gotten the catalyst. Oh,
Cinder going in on that Lissandra, but she is able to ult herself. Not going to be enough. Or is it? Oh, Voomaster just doing a little bit too late. Oh my goodness. He just did that. He used his Q just a little bit too early on that Lissandra. Otherwise, she would have been dead. Got to be able to count that 1.5 seconds out. Or is it 2.5 seconds? Clearly, I wouldn't have been any good at it because I didn't know.
Sometimes, but in the bot lane, we do have Abigail getting knocked up.
So much damage coming out. That's the harass that I'm talking about. Look at that, and Freebird's still able to stand there when the Janna comes up and knocks him up and still deal a ton of damage to her.
Yeah, Corki is really, really annoying once he hits level 6, especially if he doesn't run out of mana. They both still only have Doran's Blades, though, so neither bot laner has gone back. And Abigail, meanwhile, decides to go in again.
Oh my goodness. Sorry. I was looking.
Oh, Rabbit Cat. Yep.
We might be having some stream problems. I'm being told that we might be jumping away from the action every so often. So
okay. Well, I'll try to keep that in. I will try to keep that in mind. One thing to take into consideration is that I'm just using automatic camera mode, and so if we jump away, it's usually because a kill didn't happen in that lane and more damage is going down elsewhere.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Anyways, Freebird picking up the kill on that Janna. Again, we were just talking about how much harass that is, and the fact that he was able to bring her so low before just set her up for that. It wasn't quite a dive, but it was still like, he went right up to the tower. He took a few tower hits, but he was still able to kill her and come out with over half his health.
Yeah, Corki just being quite obnoxious, does actually come back into lane, but meanwhile we have Zygots coming in.
Yep, looks like Rammus is going in. Oh, he was trying to get the taunt off onto that J4, but he was able to use that spear jump away, which makes no sense in terms of reality, but oh well. Up top, Peckle is taking on Phantoms, just dealing a little bit of damage. They are just pecking away at each other. Nope, neither of them going to go down. Looks like that would have gone in favor of the Maokai, though, which is interesting. Let's look at their items. Rumble has a Haunting, guys. That's a great first item. Oh, but here's what it is. Maokai has a Nether Cloak already. Or a Negatron Cloak, I should say. So he's got a good chunk of magic resist already. Oh, Zigix going in. Oh, no, just deterring that Lissandra from going in and harassing him anymore as he cleans up that pink ward. Looks like the vision is pretty evenly distributed right now if you look across the map. Nami trying to take out some of those pink wards from Freebird and Friends team, but not quite able to.
Yeah, so the Nether Cloak, you've been playing a bit too much Minecraft?
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so meanwhile we do have Zygox trying to gain some position. J4 is responding well to that, so Tommy Lee is trying to do his best to deter Rammus's actions. But I think at this point, Freebird and friends really have kind of taken control of this game because every one of their lanes has pushed, but J4 hasn't really been able to find a way to get in and punish them. But meanwhile, we do have Phantom Zach going top lane.
Yep, Peckle losing his flash, going into trying to get away from that Maokai, who has pretty much full health with Rumble being at about a third left. He's going to have to back out there. He does have his TP up, so he can jump right back into lane if he needs to, so it won't be that big of a deal. A little bit of harass going on down bot. If you look back towards mid, though, we're having a bit of a jungler fight between Rumble, that is the J4 getting real dead. Lysandra using her ult on the Rammus to deter him from picking up the kill. Well.
Yeah, so again, Freebird and friends just showing some power here. And the Ignite will be enough to get a kill.
Lysandra going down to the to Voomaster in mid. Just a quick aside here. It does look like the Epic Game, like the Epic Game screen is coming up rather than like the tournament fall screen. So I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know. I'll fix that really quickly right now.
Okay. Good for us.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you, spectators.
Yeah, thank you so much for telling us. I think I had the hotkeys wrong.
Oh, gotcha. That's interesting. Anyways, if we look... Perfect, great. Let us know, whoever was messaging me in-game, if we still have issues like that. Looks like Freebird and friends, they're up about almost 3 or 4K gold right now. That's a pretty significant lead. It's not game over, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it does give them a pretty good lead when they go into these team fights that are going to start happening when they start looking to get that dragon.
But if you remember, in the last game, this is kind of how the last game went as well. Where Freebird and friends kind of jumped out to a big lead, but it looks like we do have Rumble being jumped on up top.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, every lane Freebird and friends is pretty much winning right now. The Maokai is winning top. Oh, but look bot, the Rammus is coming in for a counter gank. Oh, looks like wow, that J4 is going down. Is the Caitlyn gonna go down as well? Yes, she is. Janna ult comes a little too late. That's a double kill for bot Freebird and friends, bringing them up in a lead of 7-1. This is going to almost certainly give them a free dragon right here. Oh, and up top, Maokai almost gets the kill on the Rumble, but he's going to just barely be able to get away. Maybe that Maokai is coming back around. I think he'll be able to go in on him. Yeah. Oh, so close. There it is. Top getting another kill as well, bringing the lead 8-1. With a dragon on the side of Freebird and friends. This is getting more and more lopsided by the minute.
Yeah, and like I said, this really was how it happened last game, where Freebird and friends just jumped out to a big lead in the beginning part of the game. But as soon as they started team fighting, and as soon as they hit that middle portion of the game, Freebird and friends really weren't running around with a plan. It seemed like they were just kind of all doing their own thing, and they didn't push to finish the game. And that's when July New Hires got to show off their team fighting potential, as well as just their ability to focus on objectives. So not only did they team fight well, but they also focused on getting those objectives down that helped them get back into the game and ultimately won them that game. So this is very reminiscent of the last game that they played.
Yep, definitely. Really fantastic job all around from Freebird and friends. Really good lane dominance in pretty much every lane. Mid, top, and bot lane. And even jungle, I would say, with that Rammus being able to get off as many ganks as he is. Typically, I would think that J4, when it comes to Rammus and J4 in ganks, J4 obviously has quite a bit of CC, especially once he gets his ult, but J4 brings a good chunk of damage. Rammus generally doesn't. He really brings a lot of just crowd control and, almost secure ganks by the fact that he's able to come in so quickly and get that taunt off. However, we've seen that be so effective that J4's damage is pretty much negligent, and Rammus is almost so far ahead that, and going bot lane, Abigail falling to Freebird right there. Peckle falling to J4 right now, and Rumble. Still, took them a while to get him to fall down, but that will be the second kill for July New Hires, and now the third kill going to Lysandra at bot on that Nami, deterring Freebird from getting any more kills and getting one herself. Oh, looks like she just getting the juke off right there. Oh, Lysandra getting killed by that ultimate from Voomaster, and Dr. Freebird coming in, picking up the kill on that Janna. Well, actually, that's going to Zigix. Good counter gank, well, counter roam really from Zigix and Voomaster there. Fantastic job.
And Dr. Freebird just picked up the tower as well. I think you are actually a little bit behind on the stream, so if you want to make sure to jump to live.
All right, I'm live now.
That's perfectly fine. But yeah, a lot of action happening there. And once again, just really, really good lane play coming out from Freebird and friends. They've now jumped out to an 11-3 lead. And, I mean, they are focusing on objectives here because they've picked up a turret. They're about to pick up another turret. Actually, it looks like they probably won't pick up that turret.
I think Maokai... Oh, Rumble doing quite a bit of damage to that Maokai. I actually was thinking that Maokai was going to go in and kill him. But it looks like the 4-man gank is going to do that instead with the Rammus and the Corki. That Rumble better get out of there. Oh, he's getting taunted, but will the rest of the team be able to follow up? Doesn't look like it. Rumble's going to be able to walk away from that for the most part.
Yeah, and Rammus obviously is just going to curl up into a ball and run away as well.
Yep, that makes sense, just like the real animal.
Yep, the real Rammus animal, right?
Yes.
In the wild. So we do actually have good wards coming out.
Ooh, looks like Peckle is going in on the Janna. Unnecessarily, though. I don't know why he's trying to 1v3.
Why
he
not?
is a brave man. He is a brave man. And he continues to be brave by walking back in. Looks like a 4v... Well, actually a 4v4 right now with Lysandra getting away from Voomaster, but Voomaster's coming in from the side. Is he going to be able to get the stun off? Nope, a lot of flashes going down, but looks like Freebird and Friends is not able to pick up any kills there. Good escapes from July New Hires.
Yeah, so great escapes coming out from July New Hires. Rammus really just going in to push them off of the turret. Does decide to knock up some minions, and they're continuing to push. So, unlike last game, Freebird and Friends decided, you know what, we have the lead, let's push the advantage.
Yeah, but if you look back down bot, even though they just took the the second middle turret, Caitlyn is doing a ton of work on that bottom turret right there. She is going to back out right now. Oh, well, she better, because that Rammus is coming in full speed. Oh, but look at that Caitlyn work right there. Oh, Rammus taunts over the trap, able to lock her down. But Caitlyn might be able to get away here. Nope, she's dead.
Peckle throwing down the saplings.
Touchdown!
Word.
Yes.
You know...
Wrong score.
Yeah, so I don't believe they got the turret. They didn't get the turret in the bot lane. They did lose the turret, or I guess they did lose a turret in the mid lane, so that trade does go in favor of Freebird and Friends, but yep. Abigail doing a good job of making that trade less harsh on the team, because they did put about 3/4 damage on that bottom turret, so if they're able to come back.
She might have gotten away if the Rammus hadn't flashed for her, but at the same time, she was probably dead, but it's the sort of thing where it's like, if you can split push with somebody who has good escapes. Not that Caitlyn, well, she doesn't have that great of escapes. I'm thinking somebody like Zed or Lysandra or somebody else like that. Somebody who can really reliably get away from enemies when they come down to counter their split push. You know, that's the sort of split pusher you need. But with Caitlyn, I think right now she's just trying to do what she can to catch up to Freebird in terms of all of his kills. She's not only behind in a little bit of gold in terms of the CS, but she is 0-3 compared to Freebird's 4-0.
Yeah, and Corki really at this point is going to hit his stride. Corki is very much a mid-game champion, and now that Corki has finished that Trinity Force and is going for an Infinity's Edge, I mean, Corki's just going to be dealing so much more damage. Meanwhile, Tommy Lee gets melted.
Tommy Lee made a mistake there. But I mean, that's the sort of thing. When you get an advantage like this, you can just roam around like a ball of death. I mean, that's what they need to keep doing right now, just going around and taking objectives. Anybody who tries to fight them is pretty much going to die. Even in a big team fight, unless July New Hires has a turret, it's going to be very difficult for them to go toe-to-toe when they're down 10 kills.
Well, not only down 10 kills, but down 10,000 gold at 20 minutes into this game. I mean, at this point, if Dr. Freebird and friends tries to go for Baron, they might be able to both get Baron and win a team fight directly after that.
Yep, that's quite a bit of money right there.
So
that's like student loan money right there.
That's like student loan money from the bank's perspective, right? Obviously.
Sure.
So, but, you know, if they do go for Baron buff, they do fail to get Baron buff, and why am I not blanking on their name?
Yeah,
July
right.
New Hires. There we go. If they fail to get Baron buff, July New Hires wins a fight and then turns around and gets Baron, they're right back in this game.
Well, and actually, funny enough, that's how Freebird and friends won the last game, or lost the last game, I should say. They actually went for Baron and were taking. They were winning by a pretty significant amount. But then they went for Baron, and the Kha'Zix jungler from July New Hires team was able to get the smite off, and that Baron steal turned the entire tide of the game for them, and they were able to come back and win.
And up in this top lane, we do see Rumble basically just trying to get some farm and some experience. Rumble's currently level 13. He's staying up with Peckle, which is pretty impressive, but wow, Phantom Z.
Yep, lots of damage coming down from the Corki there. Janna there she dropped her ult, but it was interrupted almost instantly. Janna going to be the first one to go down. Looks like Rumble might be the second. Oh, but looks like for Freebird and friends, Freebird himself got caught out. He is going down. J4 getting caught out. Now Freebird and friends up 4 people versus the 3 who dropped for the July New Hires. They're going to be able to easily take this turret. Might go for Baron, might go for another turret. Looks like they're going to go for another turret. They're probably scarred from Baron given the last time they played against the July New Hires.
You know, I think that the fact that July New Hires took down Corki in that fight was actually almost worth the 2 additional kills. Because that stopped them from being able to push. I mean, that means that they weren't able to get an additional turret. That means they weren't really even able to think about Baron. So,
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
lost fight, but not the worst situation in the world.
Yeah, they also lost a turret, but they were able to get that Corki with the J4 ultimate there. So Corki didn't have the greatest positioning there, but overall, I mean, even though they got the Corki, they still lost a ton of people in that fight under a tower, so doesn't spell great for them. What they need to do at this point is really get some pretty good catches on some of these the members of Freebird and friends who might be getting a little bit cocky and start roaming around without maybe great ward coverage or without some of their friends around. So that's what they got to do at this point. Keep the wards up, catch people when they can, eke back that advantage from what it is currently.
Yeah, really, they don't need to get this all back at once. They do also have quite a bit of wave clear with the Janna and the Caitlyn and the Lissandra. And so they just need to turtle. They need to stop team fights from happening until they can get a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, Caitlyn has an Infinity's Edge and a Static Shiv. That means she's going to be able to put out a decent amount of damage. However, if you look at the other side, Freebird with that Trinity Force and the Infinity's Edge. Oh, meanwhile, Silent J actually getting caught out
he's
a little
gonna
bit.
want to. Oh wow, that is a lot of damage coming from the Syndra there. She might be able to get a kill onto Rabbit Cat, but not quite. Jen is gonna get away from there without dying, but still a lot of damage from that Syndra, and no surprise considering she's got a Void Staff and a DFG along with a needlessly large rod, and 6 and 0. That is a pretty fed Syndra right there.
Yeah, so Syndra now has bragging rights, right? Because Chimney Bears was playing in the Masters game against a Master. I guess not the Masters game, but playing against a Master. Dominated the Master, but now Syndra, so I guess Vu Master on Syndra is dominating Chimney Bears. So does that make Vu Master the Ultra Master?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. There's a long way to get there. Took a pretty roundabout path, but here we go. 5
Oh,
man.
looks like they were waiting for the ambush, going in on that Rumble, taking him down pretty easily. Lissandra running away, the rest of the team kind of backing off. That was a nice setup by Freebird and friends. They're looking for that Baron again. Hopefully they won't be too deterred from it, but they're still backing off, even though they have a very distinct advantage. They've got a pink ward in this bush. They know that that the July new hires do not have any vision of them right there. They do now because they just dropped the ward and then they killed it immediately. But, looks like they're going for the Baron finally. Let's see if Zigix can be the master of Smite in this game.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to be able to smite this. I mean, you could see Peckle is just deciding, you know what, I'm going to zone him out here. But now they do know that something's happening. They don't have vision of it quite yet.
Look at this, Peckle being able to zone out 3 people at once. Oh, this is going to be game right here. Silent J picking up the kill on the, and there goes J4 as well. And Caitlyn getting killed as well. Lissandra dropping as well. There we go, Corky. Again, the positioning not too fantastic from him, but he's going for blood. Rumble's going to be alive, but not for too long. He is able to get a good flash out. Wow, look at that nice escape on the Rumble's part. He is going to be the only member alive from July New Hires team, though.
And look at Dr. Freebird and friends. They are playing much more calm and reserved at this point because they do have that bad taste in their mouth from the last game. So they went for Dragon, another objective as opposed to just trying to go for more kills there. So rather than trying to blow everything to try to kill that Rumble, they decided, you know what, let's back off. Let's get the Dragon. Let's increase our gold lead. And let's, play this smart. They still have yet to crack that inner circle of turrets, which means that July new hires still can turtle this out. I feel like until they lose their first inhibitor, the turtle is a very real possibility, especially since they just do have so much wave clear.
Yeah, Lissandra in particular is going to be able to make that a nightmare. However, one of her best wave clearing abilities, at least from a far range, is her escape. When the minions get right up there, she can go up and from pretty close range clear them pretty easily, but that means she has to expose herself. Yeah. So that might be their one opportunity. However, Lissandra in general has a very good kit, so that if they do try to go all in on her, that will probably be a mistake because she'll just ult herself or the nearest person and be okay.
Yeah, I always laugh because it feels like Riot basically says, how can we make better champions? Not necessarily more fun champions, but like more OP champions. So it feels like all of the champions that are coming out nowadays, Lissandra included, they have some kind of escape or initiate. They have something that makes them untargetable. And they always have, I mean, I'm surprised that she has mana because usually the champions like that don't have mana, but,
yeah.
Well,
anyway. One of the things that's really nice about the champion design that we've seen as of late is the synergy with the abilities. In particular, like if you take Lissandra, just for example, the fact that she's got so much crowd control with the ability to ult herself and others, it just synergizes perfectly with the classic crowd controlling mage, being able to combo her abilities one after another. Freebird going in on Tommy Lee falling to Freebird. Tommy Lee got caught out there. J4 should not have been out there. They should have just given that turret up, turtled. And this is how you lose it, right here. Not that, it's already a tough situation for them, but when Freebird and Friends starts balling up and starts going from turret to turret, you can't get caught out. Because this is their only shot right now to turn the tides. And J4 not being there hurts a lot.
Yeah, they do have wave clear without J4, so they can kind of stall this out a little bit, and J4 will be up in 5 minutes. But you're right, them getting caught like that.
Oh man, but look at this. J4 is only level 12 compared to Syndra's level 17. That's how she's doing so much damage. Oh wow, but even then, Red Team is able to do quite a bit of damage. J4 able to get the Zigix locked in, but still not quite kill him, even though he's down to a sliver of health. This is going to be an ace. Almost an ace for Freebird and Friends. I think they're going to close it out right here now.
Yeah, this is the end of the game for sure. Chimney Bear is trying to draw them away from the base. They're like, nope, not going to take the bait. One of the things that I thought was somewhat comical in that fight is that Silent J... Oh, man. Chimney Bear is going down. The Ignite will take Chimney Bears out.
Yeah, he's real dead.
Yeah. But Silent J actually picked up the kill onto Abigail. Abigail got out with a sliver of health, and this slow-moving tidal wave picked up the kill. But Freebird and Friends picks it up, which means we are going to a Game 3.
Yay, more casting time.
Woot. All right, so we will go to a Game 3. Yeah, okay. So we will go to a Game 3.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let me grab the code. I'm going to go ahead and start playing some music. But we will be back momentarily as soon as we get into game. Give us about 5 or 10 minutes to get everybody else back into game. But I'll put on some music, and we will be right back.
Music time!